But we also have Christian prophets saying that they have seen Charlie Kirk in heaven, which some of you might be chuckling at, but to me is actually, and this is just me, Dan, is on par in terms of being disgusting as anyone who was actually celebrating Charlie Kirk being murdered. The idea that you would say to someone's grieving family, "Oh, I saw Charlie Kirk in heaven. He was riding a horse." To me, that, like, if someone did that to me when it came to a relative of mine, a family member, a friend, I would be not happy. So anyway, enough pretext. Take it away. What do we got here? Well, should I play the clip? You want me just to play the clip and then people can?
Yeah,
okay.
go ahead.
All right.
Play the clip, because
right.
I can't do justice to it.
Here's Kim Robinson describing what she has learned about Charlie Kirk in heaven. Here she is.
This morning when I was praying and going over my notes, and reading this, the Lord showed me that he showed me Charlie in heaven. And like I said, I don't know anything about Charlie, so I hope somebody puts in the chat or lets me know if this is, what you know about him. But I saw Charlie this morning riding on a horse with Jesus, and Jesus has given him like a horse ranch. He has a ranch and he has all these animals. And I just feel like Charlie loved horses. And right now with this morning, and he was on these horses, and he was riding in his horse ranch with Jesus. And I'm just like, isn't that amazing?
Who's Kim Robinson? What's going on, Dan?
So it's hard to describe exactly what Kim Robinson is. Christian, I guess, influencer, wants to be an influencer, minister, author, as you say, prophet. And what do we mean by prophet here? Coming out of a kind of Christian tradition where people will claim that they sort of have special insights given directly by God, and so forth. And so she wrote a book, and it's on her website as well, called Heaven is Real and Fun. And I'm looking at, if you read I'm reading just the summary of this on Goodreads, and this is how she describes what it is that she is talking about. She says, since 1988, the Holy Spirit has been taking me to heaven. Jesus would show me various fun places and allowed me to do fun things. I asked, why is he showing me these places? The response is, Daddy/God said, so God is Daddy here, because people think all they do here is float around wearing diapers, eating grapes, or doing nothing but bowing before me. I have planned for each person in detail what makes them happy to be here with me. So you are to tell them heaven is real and fun and Jesus is coming soon. That's the statement. And it lists some things that were you to read. Heaven is real and fun. She has a follow-up book as well. You can come slide down the treehouse slide with Jesus. You can play with Jesus in the river. You can play in the snow. You can ride a roller coaster. You can, not making this up, see where the babies go that were aborted. You can see where did your pet come from. You can play gel balls with Jesus and others. And the cover of the book is like, there's like an extreme skier and a roller coaster and all this other sort of stuff. So
she's also claimed you can ride dinosaurs in heaven.
Yes.
Which, Dan?
Yeah.
I'm rethinking this whole deconstruction thing at this point.
So, I'm old enough that I rode them to class as an undergraduate. That's what I tell my students. That's how we used to go to class. But I
wish we had a sound on this show for a dad joke alert, like, oh, dad joke. I wish, because that was like, wow.
So there's the Discord project for the week, because by Sunday afternoon, there's going to be like 15 people will have posted like sounds.
We need a dad joke like buzzer, because that was bad. I mean, that was good in terms of dad jokiness, and also like I'm even a little startled right now. So
Brad's in physical pain right at this moment. Yeah. So on one hand, this feels so silly, but you hear in the clip, you hear the emotion of this, and that apparently what Charlie Kirk got was a horse ranch, and he's riding a horse with Jesus and so forth, and lots of things stand out about this to me. We were just talking a few minutes ago about people attributing whatever they want to the Bible. Just broadly speaking, the theologian in me and the Protestant theologian who has a Bible degree and things like that, and, believed in sola scriptura and all that kind of stuff, that everything should come from the Bible. The Bible says startlingly little about heaven. It says almost nothing about what that is and what that place is and so forth. And so on one hand, if I'm sort of decoding this, one of the things it shows us is how much these popular presentations of Christianity from people who claim to be quote unquote biblical and biblical literalists and all that stuff. And everybody who listens to me knows I talk about this a lot, but this is one of the reasons the Bible didn't say anything about heaven being this like literal active form of wish fulfillment, that whatever you like best is what you're going to get to do for all eternity. Never mind the fact that I don't care what you're into. I think it's going to get boring if you do it like literally forever, but that's a separate issue. But I think to your point, it's this notion of, what is the significance of saying that this is how we saw Charlie Kirk and so forth? This is a theological model, and that creates this kind of saccharine, sickly, sweet God who rewards people by giving them whatever they want, right? It's like it's the parent in the sky, or the spoiled, the grandfather who spoils you is like, hey, you want a lollipop because you did well on your test at school or something. This notion of reward, this notion of you get whatever you are most into and so forth. And I think the significance of this is where Charlie Kirk is.
Yeah.
Everything that he did, we've talked about the kind of sainting of Charlie Kirk. And I'm not here to disparage Charlie Kirk. I am here to say that lots of people didn't agree with Charlie Kirk. And that was Charlie Kirk's shtick, was like, freedom of speech and disagreement and debate and all of this kind of stuff, to where it has become so sort of mainstream that has dribbled down into this form of Christianity, this form of popular Christian expression, shared with Kelsey O'Malley. That's the person that she's doing the interview with there. But this notion that what he did was so good, he's rewarded in eternity by getting to do whatever is most fun, whatever is best for him. And just so many pieces of this, that number one, that highly individualistic sense too, that the eternal reward we get is something tailored to each of us, whatever's best to me. God is about serving my needs and my wants, and my eternal reward will be what I am into. It serves that self-aggrandizing vision of ourselves that I think feeds the right. I think it illustrates how much the language of religion is coded to a certain kind of identity and the rewarding of a certain kind of identity in America. It's not about belief. It's not about theology. This is terrible theology. You want to talk about theology? This is some of the dumbest theology you'll ever run across. We could psychoanalyze it. This sounds like somebody who was never allowed to have fun. And so like their vision of heaven is I get to do fun stuff. You're like, really? Like riding a roller coaster? Dude, I'll just go to Six Flags, check it off the list. I don't need to go to heaven for that. We could look at it in all those ways, but I think the significance is what it tells us about the purpose of religion for the right and the role that it plays in sanctifying a particular political position, in sanctifying a political social position, a range of social positions, in sanctifying particular people and elevating them in a way that they are beyond question, and becomes yet another mechanism for legitimizing anything people do. Because more and more on the right, what we're going to see is, Charlie would have said this.
Yes, that's what, yeah.
Charlie would want us to do that. He is becoming posthumously one of those mechanisms of legitimizing what happens on the right.
Well, that's where I want to go with this, because you talked about how the theology here doesn't really hold in terms of what the Bible actually outlines in terms of the afterlife. I want to go to what this does, and the term I would introduce here is the theological capital of Charlie Kirk. So what she's doing here is using the capital that Charlie Kirk brings. If you have an interaction with Charlie Kirk, if you knew Charlie Kirk, if you were his friend, if you were his confidant, you get a boost. You have more authority. So she is saying, well, I saw him in heaven and he was doing this. And what that does for her, like, what does this do for her? Well, she gets more cred. She gets more legitimacy. She gets more a sense that she is closer to the divine than maybe we thought, because she sees Charlie Kirk, and this is good. So she's using Kirk for theological capital. Candace Owens said that she was visited by Charlie Kirk in a dream. Here's her quote. I want you guys to know something. I want to share this with you. You can take it or you can leave it. I've known this really since the first second, but I rarely have vivid dreams that I did in fact have a very vivid one over the weekend. In fact, the last time I had one of these, it was when she was pregnant. But in this dream, she says, Charlie Kirk told her that he was betrayed. So Candace Owens, some of you have been following this, some of you haven't. She's been claiming that Charlie Kirk was there's a conspiracy theory he was murdered by people who wanted him dead. It could be Mossad, it could be the Israeli government, it could be Netanyahu, it could be others. And now we have Charlie Kirk telling her, and that, right? And this gives her political capital. It's not theological capital, it's political. It's like, well, everything I've been saying about what really happened when the murder of Charlie Kirk and the politics involved with Israel and the U.S. relationship with Israel, Charlie Kirk told me directly. I was betrayed. And so we're seeing Charlie Kirk become, as you just said, Dan, this authority that you can reference, like the Constitution. Oh, the Constitution says this, or they're violating the Constitution, or would Charlie have wanted that? Or I think Charlie would have wanted us to do this, or they killed Charlie Kirk, so we better gerrymander this state's 9 congressional districts, according to Jim Banks. That's what you're seeing here. Jack Posobiec, Antifa. We better go annihilate Antifa because that's, I think, what Charlie would want us to do, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to see more of this, but some folks alerted me to this video, and we had to make sure we got to it today.